A federal judge is set to hear testimony today over the extent of the mental illness suffered by a man in prison for killing 3 high school classmates at Heath High School back in 1997. Donna Groves has details.
A forensic clinical psychologist who deemed Michael Carneal fit to stand trial in 1998 testified today that would not have been his determination had Carneal been honest with him about the voices that were controlling his behavior. Dr. Dewey Carneal says after learning about the voices in 2004, he changed his assessment of Carneal to that of paranoid schizophrenia. Dr. Carneal said Carneal told him it was the voices of a group of powerful monsters he called the Danes, who threatened and harassed him, encouraging him to steal guns from a neighbor, take them to school, and fire into a crowd of students. But in 1998, Dr. Carneal said Carneal was not cooperating fully with the defense counsel or me for irrational reasons, because the Danes had warned him not to tell anyone of their existence. The hearing is expected to take all week, with Michael Carneal himself expected to testify. Reporting from the federal courthouse, I'm Donna Groves.
A second forensic psychiatrist on Tuesday morning testified that her examination of Heath High School shooter Michael Carneal has led to a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia. This on the second day of a competency hearing that is expected to last the week. Donna Groves has details.
A second forensic psychiatrist today testified that she, too, has now reclassified Heath High School shooter Michael Carneal as a paranoid schizophrenic. Dr. Diane Shetsky said when she initially interviewed Michael Carneal in 1998, she classified him as having schizotypical personality disorder because she could not find evidence to prove that he was suffering from schizophrenia. But after re-interviewing him in 2004 and looking at juvenile and corrections department records, she saw evidence Carneal was very paranoid and hallucinating, prompting her to change the diagnosis. As for why she didn't discover the existence of the voices that were controlling Carneal in 1998, Dr. Shetsky said, quote, according to Michael, the voices were telling him not to talk to me, and he was afraid harm might come to his family. Michael Carneal himself is expected to testify as the hearing continues throughout the week. Reporting from the Federal Building in downtown Paducah, I'm Donna Groves.
Michael Carneal's father, John Carneal, took the stand Tuesday afternoon at his son's competency hearing. He said Michael's family does have a history of mental illness. John Carneal said Michael's great-great-grandfather died in the 1930s from mental illness at Western State Hospital. John Carneal also said he and his wife would visit Michael regularly when he was in the juvenile facility and then when he was transferred to the Kentucky State Reformatory in LaGrange. He said Michael had a lot of bad days when his family would visit. John Carneal says Michael would not make eye contact and would have an unkempt appearance. His sister, Kelly Firesheets, also took the stand Tuesday. She was at Heath High School the day the shooting took place. She said Michael looked physically bigger and wouldn't have recognized him if it weren't for the clothes he had on when they were at school that day. Firesheets, who has a doctorate in clinical psychology, says she did discuss psychology with Michael when she would visit him, but never diagnosed him and never told him what he had. She says she loves her brother and would help him out any way possible as long as it follows the law, her ethics, and religious beliefs. Reporting from the federal courthouse in downtown Paducah, I'm Barry Wright.
Heath High School shooter Michael Carneal says he lives with the thought of the crime he committed every day, feels his sins are unpardonable, and has attempted suicide, believing everyone would be better off if he were dead. Testifying at a competency hearing in U.S. District Court in Paducah today, Carneal said, quote, it hurts that I did this thing that hurt all these people. I wish I could take it back, but I don't know how, unquote. Carneal said the voices he was hearing that told him to fire on the prayer circle that morning in the school lobby in no way diminishes the responsibility he feels for the crime. As for why he didn't file an appeal of his conviction until 2004, Carneal said he couldn't have done it before then because prior to that, he was distrustful of everybody and didn't want to reveal what was going on inside his head. Reporting from U.S. District Court building in downtown Paducah, I'm Donna Groves.
A competency hearing continues today in Paducah in the case of Michael Carneal. U.S. District Judge Thomas Russell is presiding over the hearing. Donna Groves has more.
Michael Carneal's doctor at the Kentucky State Reformatory since 2005, Dr. Laura Moore, testified that he was obviously mentally ill, enough so that doctors increased his meds. She said she couldn't fathom why anyone would fake such symptoms only to be put on meds with such terrible side effects. However, a clinical forensic psychologist, Dr. Charles Clark, testified that when he examined Carneal in 1998, he saw no signs of active psychosis. When he evaluated Carneal again in 2010, he said he saw no sign of paranoid schizophrenia in Carneal, judging from the Rorschach, or commonly called the Inkblot test. Instead, he said he saw answers indicating good reality. He said Carneal showed evidence of an anxiety disorder, largely related to his situation, and some obsessive-compulsive tendencies. Reporting from the Federal Building in downtown Paducah, I'm Donna Groves.
A judge has rejected claims by Heath High School shooter Michael Carneal that mental illness prevented him from trying to withdraw a guilty plea to killing 3 classmates and wounding 5 others in 1997. U.S. District Judge Thomas B. Russell said in a ruling Wednesday that the 28-year-old Carneal likely could have challenged the guilty plea in 2002 or 2003 before the clock ran out on his opportunity to appeal. Russell said the mental illness was under control by then. Carneal, 14 at the time of the incident, took guns to Heath High School on December 1, 1997, and opened fire on a prayer group in the lobby. Carneal pleaded guilty but mentally ill. He's serving life in prison with a chance of parole after 25 years.